Hello everyone, Lumen River is with you. I will be very glad of your likes and comments. Enjoy watching.
Hello friends. Today I will tell you about the first season of the anime called Is It a Disaster? Four schoolgirls come to their senses on the sandy beach and begin to get acquainted. And bitch Suzu Mora is studying in Class B, running and basketball. Cheyenne Kujo loves to play the piano and his dog named Arnold. Matsuo Matani is an excellent student, loves to read and cook, and understands astronomy. Hamara Aishima has survival skills thanks to her father. 20 hours earlier, the girls were lucky enough to stay alive after the plane crash, on one of the wreckage of which they are now floating. Hamara remembers her father's instruction and realizes that they do not have fresh water. You cannot use seawater, because it is salty. You can lose more fluids than you get. Having given out this information, the Hama breaks the flying fish, wraps it in a cloth and crushes it. Now you can drink the contents of the fish. But other girls refuse treats. Evening comes, and the girls go to bed, and in the morning they see the island. But the current carries their fruit away. We'll have to swim ourselves. Hamara notices the fin of a tiger shark and throws the battery from his phone into it. The shark gets an electric shock and stops the pre-pursuit. The frightened girls reach the shore. They are shocked by Hamara's erudition, and she says that she and her father have already been washed ashore in different oceans of the planet. But then Matsu loses consciousness from dehydration. She is laid in the shade. Hamara, having eaten a grasshopper flying by, explains the ways of extracting water from plants, filtering or desalinating sea water, and you can also collect rainwater or find a spring. Musa is getting worse, and Hamara shares saliva with her friend. However, at the same time treats her with a grasshopper leg. The girl is shocked, her first kiss was with a grasshopper. In the morning, Hamara and Asaka go to the thicket of the forest to search for water, and the train wanders along the beach and finds an incomprehensible object that looks like a coconut. And the bitch falls down without strength, while the Hamars feel good. She finds a place where a stream has recently flowed and begins to dig out the bed. She does not find water, but the soil is wet enough, and the girl manages to get her friend drunk by collecting and surviving the soil with a sock. Cheyenne and Matsu also lose their strength, and then suddenly it starts to rain. The girls manage to collect some water. Hamars tell about 3 rules of survival. If you don't keep your body temperature normal, you'll die in 3 hours. You can live without water for only 3 days, and without food for 3 weeks. So, first of all, we need to build a shelter. But friends whine with one voice about unbearable hunger, and then Hamara offers a choice of bugs, algae, the remains of something in a jar found and a sea urchin. Cheyenne chooses a hedgehog, but does not know how to eat it. A friend shows how to carve an animal, and the girl is delighted. Matsu will remove the algae. Hamara explains that all green and brown algae can be eaten, and they are very nutritious, and the bitch chooses a jar with leftovers similar to jam. But, alas, it is spoiled, and the dinner is sent to the bushes. Hamars remain cicadas, and she shows how they can be eaten. The sun sets, and the girls go to bed right on the beach. Time goes by, but there are still no rescuers. The Hamars are building a hut while the bitch is whining about hunger. The girl goes to the forest for vines, and the capricious begs for help, maybe she can find something edible. And the bitch finds a plant that looks like a sweet potato, but Hamara stops her friend. You can't eat unfamiliar plants. In extreme cases, you can make a skin test, attach the fruit to the skin and see what happens, and the bitch is ready to donate her backside, and Hamara inserts a plant there for her. After a while, a burning spot appears there, which means the fruit is poisonous. Out of desperation, and the bitch catches a cicada and is delighted with the taste of the insect. She eats and is envied by Hamars. A friend is the real mistress of the island. Later, the girls finish building a hut and Cheyenne insists on building a shower, because they can't seem like a lifeguard in this form. Hamara maintains her hygiene in matters of survival is very important and builds souls from a piece of polyethylene found on the beach. Cheyenne will try it out first. Meanwhile, Hamara and Matsu go to the sea to collect shellfish. The hostess of the island shows how to find living creatures in the shadow of her body. And even hermit crabs, which Matsu lets go, are suitable for food. Well, now we need a bonfire, and Hamara lights it through a bottle of water. The stone is heated, and the clams are fried on it. For the first time recently, girls eat real food and find it delicious. Soon the girls realize that although shellfish are delicious, you need a lot of them to really eat. And Hamara goes hunting. She finds butterfly-like footprints left by squirrels having tender and delicious meat. Now we need to make traps. There are 4 types of them. Strangling snares that shoot arrows, traps that overturn something heavy on the beast, and pits with stakes at the bottom. The girls go to look for useful things for this, and the bitch comes across a frog and she catches it with her skirt. Hamari explains that frogs and toads eat only paws, which immediately leads the girl into frustration. And then the Hamars notice a rabbit hole. They return to the beach to prepare snares. One end of the rope is tied flexibly in the branch, and the second to the one installed with the help of stakes in the loop. It remains to wait for the animal to enter the loop. Hamars explain that rabbit holes have several exits, so it would be good if they split up and set snares at other holes. The girls do it, the Hamars praise them for a new idea. The truth gets caught in a loop. And the bitch. The girls are sure that they will soon eat real meat, but Hamara cools the ardor of the hunters. Sometimes you have to wait a few days for the ski to work, so she intends to look for shells at depth. Siobhan meets the hunters with good news. She found a boat on the beach. Now they have a pot. But he is horrified by the brought starfish. Hamara explains that these are a few edible ones, and they have caviar inside. The girls go to check the snares, and the bitch is upset about the need to kill the animal, but the snares are empty. And then the girls see the smoke from the fire and run to the shore. But the sea is deserted. Cheyenne only thought she saw a ship in the distance. She is sobbing with frustration. Hamara recalls her father's instruction, it will be hard, make a barbecue. In the morning she will be Cheyenne and leads with her to the shore where they see the ebb tide. She asks the girl to dig, and she finds a fish. Hamara remembered that there is a kind of fish that sleep in the sand. They collect a lot of fish and arrange a barbecue, and make herbal tea in a saucepan. The dinner was a success, and for the first time the girls believed that everything would be fine and they would return home. The next day, Matsu and Asuka find a live rabbit in a trap. Matsu tries to finish off the animal, but her hands are shaking, she constantly hits by. And then Asuka gets down to business. They bring the animal to the shore and get Hamara's praise, but now they need a knife, and the girl shows how to make it out of stone, and then teaches Matsu to carve the carcass. It's not easy for a girl, but she has to learn. And she's coping. Cheyenne recalls how in France a chef cooked a rabbit in front of visitors and offers recipes. However, only meat and sea salt are from the products. To begin with, Matsu cuts him up. Then they dig a hole, put hot stones in it, cover it with sand and cover it with leaves. The pieces of meat wrapped in leaves are put on top, covered with leaves, covered with sand, and a fire is lit. Now you have to wait about an hour. But how to count the time? Hamara makes a sundial, while Matsu cooks broth from animal bones on the same fire. Cheyenne suggests adding the stems of an already proven plant. Lunch turns out to be just fabulous, and the girls are really excited. In the evening they lie on the shore, look at the stars and feel full for the first time. The girls have been on the island for a long time, and there are still no rescuers. Hamara suggests exploring the island and looking for a more convenient place to camp, because winter will come soon enough. The girl chooses Matsu in the satellite, as she considers it the most reliable, and they go on a reconnaissance mission. On the beach, they find plants that can be eaten raw, but they only grow all over the globe, so this will not help determine the location of the island. Matsu hopes that Japan is nearby, and Hamari even expresses hope to swim to his country. Going ashore, the girls find a boat pier, but after looking closely, they realize that the pier has been abandoned for a long time. The girls decide to stay overnight. Sitting by the campfire, they worry about those who stayed in the camp, and imagine how Cheyenne and Asuka ate toadstools and set fire to the canopy. It's getting dark around, and then those who they left in the camp come out from behind the bushes. They got scared and went to look for friends. Except there's only enough food for 2. Hamara makes a canopy, remembering her father's instructions, and makes a hammock out of the found net, where all 4 of them fit. The girls offer to give the island a name and begin to invent it. In the morning they discover the crabs caught by Hamar and start eating breakfast. The girls are discussing the pier, if there is one, then there may be a house. Everyone goes in different directions, and the bitch finds familiar fruits, such as her grandmother grows, so they are still near Japan. Cheyenne reports about the found house, everyone goes to him, but the building has long been destroyed. Nevertheless, the find is very important. Hamara goes to inspect the house, and the girls decide to try the fruit, but it is bitter and sour. The Hummars find old scissors and make a knife out of them. They are going to the hill, and suddenly they see smoke on the shore. But it turns out not to be smoke, but water vapor, which comes from heated stones stacked in a hot spring bath. Friends sink into hot water and get real pleasure from the procedure. They throw the fruits into the water and they begin to emit a fragrance. Hamara admires the moon and looks for familiar stars. And then the water starts to cool down. It turns out that this is the sea water. The waves carry the girls to the shore. They realize that the island used to be inhabited, and decide to go along the coast next time. The girls are going to return to their camp. Along the way, Hamara shows a thick anchor rope at the bottom. We need to get it. But how? The schoolgirl boldly jumps into the water. She remembers her father's lessons again and climbs up, tied with a rope. After reaching the camp, the girls fall under a tropical downpour. The fire also went out, and the bitch decides to look for something in the ocean, but immediately lightning strikes the water and the girl loses consciousness. Hamari brings her ashore. The girls want to hide in the forest, but Hamara reminds them about lightning. To be safe, you need to assemble a lightning rod. And the girls make it out of pieces of wood, measuring the right distance in steps. Morning comes. The rain has passed and the bitch is going to the ocean again, and again loses consciousness. This time she was stung by a jellyfish. Hamara saves the girl again. Hamara recalls how 7 years ago she and her father were left in the Taklamakan desert without a guide. And then the man said that knowledge is what will fill the stomach. Sitting on the shore, Hamara teaches how to make a handle and a sheath for a future knife, and then asks to coat the ends of the sticks with the remaining glue. These will be wonderful torches. And the bitch complains about sunburn. Matsu remembers about the sun cream. Only Hamara doesn't worry about anything. She remembers how her father taught her to see underwater without glasses, and catches a cuttlefish. The others are horrified. Half of her face is painted dark. She remembers her father again. Once in Fiji, he taught her that ultraviolet is harmful to health and if you let things take their course, the immune system will weaken. Therefore, it is necessary to smear the faces with ink from cuttlefish, which work better than any cream. The girls ask to smear them too, but the amount of ink is only enough for one. After the draw, everything goes to Matsuo. Hamara recalls that useful creams can also be made from algae. The knife he pours it on the cup, and the others rub against it to get their share of the useful product. Hamara offers to smear Cheyenne with the remains of cuttlefish cream, which terrifies the girl. Friends go to check the snares, but they are empty. But hear Matsu complain of burning. Hamars believe that it is a horsefly bite and remembers Botswana. Then my father taught that you cannot close your eyes to discomfort. She smears the bite of Matsu with dandelion juice. At this moment, Cheyenne begins to make a row about the laundry drying in front of everyone. The girls don't understand who sees him here. Hamara recalls how in Patagonia, her father advised her to do everything in her pants in difficult circumstances. When you survive, you can't be shy about anything. So the net will go for the hammock, not for the dryer. Cheyenne asks Hamar to make perfume, and she recalls her father's advice that a person quickly gets used to unpleasant odors, so you need to wash if you don't even feel it. A pile of bamboo comes ashore, which will make a good roof. But he needs to be delivered to the camp. Hamara suggests someone to sit on it and drive the fruit to the right place. As a result, a bitch and Cheyenne sit on the fruit. Hamara and Matsu lead him along the shore by ropes. The girls on the raft get seasick, and they get sick. Hamara teaches how to cut bamboo with a bonfire. They make a beautiful roof out of it. But then an insect that looks like a bee starts flying around Cheyenne. The girls are going to look for a nest. The buzzing comes from the trunk of the tree and Hamara realizes that you can get hold of sweets here. Her father taught her that insect bites rarely lead to death, but nevertheless, they are very dangerous. The girl remembers how to get sweets. They will smoke out the bees with smoke, cut out the honeycombs with a knife, and then they will pass them along the chain and leave as soon as they collect everything. She prepares torches, brings it to the trunk. Bees fly out of the hollow. Hamara cuts off the honeycomb and passes it to Cheyenne. In the evening, they rejoice in the obtained sweets. They were certainly stung, but the honey is worth it. Later, the girls are fishing, and Cheyenne also intends to go fishing. Hamara notes the weather changes. Cheyenne sails off on a raft, trying to catch fish. And then the Hamars realize that there is a strong current coming from the island, which means that Cheyenne was swept into the sea. And Bitch and Matsu carry firewood and remember about school and their normal life. And he hears Hamara's screams. She tells the echelon what causes the anger of her friends. The girl remembers her father's instruction not to take risks for the sake of others, but now she does not want to listen to his advice and sails from the island on a bamboo catamaran. Cheyenne realizes that she is in the middle of the ocean and becomes hysterical. She remembers. He recalls Hamara's parting words about the amount of water and the need to remain calm, and sees the island. And Bitch and Mutsu collect algae and plants and cook dinner. For friends who will definitely come back. Cheyenne docks at a small island where there is nothing but rocks, but you can't give up. The girl goes on and gets into the cave, but there is no water there either. Hamari is trying to find a friend in the ocean. Her father taught her how to measure distance in the wild, and the girl puts his advice into practice. Cheyenne begins to lose consciousness from the heat. It seems to her that she is introducing new friends to her parents. And he hears the voice of Hamara, who found her. Cheyenne asks for water, but Hamara did not take it, which leads her friend to despair. Hamara asks what she found on the island, and she leads her to the cave. They see the bats flying off the island. So this is their nest. But there's nothing to eat here. Hamara finds some water infected with droppings, but the girl explains, you can't drink it, but it will come in handy. They start looking for everything that can be used to build a raft. Hamara ties the found bottles behind the raft. They should indicate the direction. Girls are floating on the sea and suffer from dehydration. Hamara pulls water out of the cave, but if they drink it, they will get diarrhea and will be left without moisture. The colon sucks up water and absorbs the unusable product. Therefore, they must pour this water into the veneuse, which he is categorically against, but otherwise, death. Time passes that he speculates whether she has lost something, and they substitute her ass from which you can drink. Yes. The girl asks Hamar to leave what happened between them. And the next moment they see a familiar shore. Girls wave to their friends. They are happy to be back. And Sukka and Musi arrange dinners of collected crustaceans, and Hamara and Cheyenne do not tell how they coped in the sea without water. And at this time, a ship is already rushing to the island, driven by Hamara's father. Friends, thanks for watching. Write in the comments what you think about this anime and please do not forget to support us with likes and subscribe.